Hey there, my name is Sam, and this is our 2026 Google Business Profile Optimization Training and Strategy. This is a series that we're doing specifically for our internal team, but where we're looking at what's working in SEO right now, and then how do we update our SOPs to reflect that. So we put together this SOP, and I'm just going to walk through it. If you are looking to learn best practices around optimizing your Google Business Profile for search, this video hopefully will be helpful to you. One note here, it's an important note, but a lot of this is based off of and informed by WhiteSpark's 2026 local search ranking factors. If you haven't had a chance to look at this, I would recommend it. It's a fun project report that they put together where they go and interview 47 SEO practitioners. They give them a bunch of ranking factors to go through, and they then compile all of that and use it to come up with, based off of what people are experiencing, these things matter the most for local search. So we already had our existing SOPs, and then we went and looked at, hey, what are other people seeing, and use that to update our current SOPs, and then that's what we're going over here. So we're going to look at optimizing your Google Business Profile. We're going to look at aligning your Google Business Profile services and categories with the pages on your website, and then that gets into a little bit of location page strategy. So this is it's not going to be a exact how to do everything, but it's more strategy, how to think about Google Business Profile optimization, local SEO. So first thing here, critical ranking factors. So this is just coming from WhiteSpark's report, but these, I'm going to go through quickly the top 10, 11 here. This is what people are experiencing, what matters the most. So one, your primary Google Business Profile category. So if you are auditing a Google Business Profile, you want to see what's the main category. And, I just did plumber near me, and the main category is plumber. That makes sense. We'll get into where it matters, or how to pick the right category in a little bit here, but you typically want to be specific if you're able to. So like if you are a personal injury lawyer, instead of having your main category be lawyer, it should be personal injury lawyer. If you're an Italian restaurant, instead of having the main category be restaurant, it should ideally be Italian restaurant. The more specific you are, the better you're going to rank for the terms that you care about. Number two is proximity to searchers. So this one is, you can't control where someone's going to be searching from, obviously, but you can control where you are. And so if someone is searching and they're physically close to your location, then you're more likely to show up. Strategically, how you can use this to your advantage is, you could look at getting multiple locations, get multiple offices. In some cases, even if you're paying $500, if you find a cheap office in a different part of town and say it's $500 a month, but it allows you to get a legitimate Google Business Profile, and then that Google Business Profile starts to bring in a couple jobs a month like that and could just pay for itself there. Also, as you are selecting an office or a location, thinking through like being close to the city center or being in high population density areas is going to be helpful for you. Next one here, keywords in the business name. So this one, here you can kind of see it, but like Smart Plumbing, Alliance Plumbing, Super Pro Plumbing, like all of them have a main keyword in the business name. That needs to be legitimate to get your profile verified and to not be suspended. You could look at getting a DBA for that, but it doesn't matter, right? It just, exact match terms still are effective from a ranking perspective. Some of that's just because if you're, you'll see like memes about this, but if your business was named Plumber Near Me, and I wouldn't necessarily suggest that, but if it were named Plumber Near Me, and then someone is searching for Plumber Near Me and they are by your location, Google's not going to know if they are looking for your specific business or if they're just searching Plumber Near Me. It's also, if you did Plumber Atlanta, if that was your business name, Google wouldn't know necessarily if they're looking for your business or if they are just looking for a general plumber in Atlanta. Still matters, so be mindful of that. Physical address in the city, number 4. This matters. Having a physical address and not just a service area business does matter. It just, you'll see it time and time again where the businesses that have physical addresses tend to rank better. And also there's, I think, some trust that comes into that too from like an individual. If I'm looking for a business and they have an actual office or location, it makes me feel like it's more legitimate business. So that matters. Then obviously having an address in the city. If you are, say, trying to target for Atlanta, but you're outside of Atlanta, that's going to be harder to rank for being in Atlanta. Your business hours. This one's a little bit newer as of the last year or so, maybe 6 months, year. Having your business be opened matters. When you think about it, that isn't shocking, but it's something where, if you're open from 9 to 5 and that's your business hours, after 5 o'clock, your ranking can go down because you are not open, especially if other related businesses are open. Google is not really incentivized to show a closed business to somebody. So there you can think about, can you extend your business hours? Now, if you're a restaurant or a retail store where people have to come in, then you're just going to be what it's going to be. If you are more of a service-based business, any type of home service or business services, if you're willing to answer calls late or have a call answering service and you can open your hours longer, that's something to consider. Next one, high Google ratings. This isn't shocking, but you want reviews and then you want good reviews, and that matters. Additional categories. This gets into the optimization piece, but adding additional categories and having those be aligned with what you offer. Review quantity. I'm going to combine these, review quantity and review recency. So then, again, these are all the same thing. You want good reviews, you want a lot of reviews, and you want recent reviews. Not shocking, but it matters. Everything else being the same, if someone has 100 5-star reviews and someone else has 5 5-star reviews, the one with 100 reviews is not only going to get more conversions, but they're going to rank higher. And then review recency. So this is where I would say don't be discouraged if you don't have a lot of reviews. What you want to do, we'll give an example here, but look at come to their profile, go to their reviews, sort by newest, and then look over the last 2 or 3 months. How many reviews are they getting? This business, they just got one an hour ago, but then the last one wasn't for 3 months ago, and then 3 months ago, and then 3 months ago, so they got like a bunch 3 months ago, and then they didn't have any, and then it was like 8 months ago. So if we look over the last 6 months, say, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reviews. They're getting less than a review per month. Let's look at these guys. They have 596 reviews. That's a good amount there. Let me get this guy out of the way. Look at newest again. How many do they have? They have 1 18 hours ago, then a month ago, then 2 months ago, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 3 months. So they're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reviews in the last 3 months. So that's 2 to 3 reviews per month if my math is right there. And then last one, these guys. But this is just something to do to get a feel for like, hey, I'm a new business. I'm not going to have 500 reviews, but if they're getting 2 or 3 a month, and this guy got, getting 1 a month, and they have 2 months ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, they're getting 1 every 2 months. Like that tells me if you can get 2 reviews a month, you're going to, and do that consistently for 6 months, like you're going to make up a lot of ground here. So that's where that review recency, if you have a bunch of reviews, but they're from 3 years ago, and a new business is getting 3, 4, 5, 6 reviews a month, that business is going to start making up ground quickly. So there's that. This one here, map pin placement. So on occasion, check and see where your actual pin is. One, obviously you want it to be correct, but 2, people can move it kind of for you. People can suggest edits, and then Google just will do it. And we've had this happen to clients where there's a law firm in the middle of a city and their pin was in the middle of some park outside of the city because someone had moved it and Google didn't check with the business. They just went ahead and did it. So that's just something to be mindful of. obviously where your pin is located is going to matter. That tells them your location. You want to make sure that it's accurate. Last one here, Google Business Profile, predefined services. So when you're setting up the profile, it'll give you services that it thinks it matters. Typically adding those is going to be helpful. So these are things that matter. So things to be looking out for. So then we're going to move on to actually optimizing the profile. And basically we want to take the things that matter here and make sure that we are including that in our Google Business Profile optimization. So I'm not going to go through step by step here. I'm just going to hit on these things and highlight them. So your primary category, we talked about that. It matters. You want it to be specific. Instead of just law firm, personal injury attorney. Instead of just restaurant, Italian restaurant. Instead of just contractor, kitchen remodeler. You're going to want to go broader so you can show up for more terms. And in some cases that may work, but usually the more specific you can be, the better, especially if you're newer or starting out. Business hours optimization. So this one, again, we talked about, but if your business is closed, you typically are going to drop in rankings, especially if other businesses that do the same thing are open. So make sure your hours are accurate, of course, but if you can increase them, that's something you should really consider doing, even if it means getting an answering service or just answering the phone yourself. But that's something to be mindful of. It just matters from a ranking perspective. Map pin verification, on occasion, if you're going into your Google Business Profile, just take a look, make sure that your pin is actually where it's supposed to be and that it didn't actually get moved. There are tools, WhiteSpark happens to have one, that can track it. And so something to be aware of. And moving on, additional categories. So you're going to have your primary category, but then it is suggested to add additional categories. And so, you don't want to add just random stuff, but if you do it, it'd be good to add it in there. And so that's something that you want to have just added in, one way to optimize it. So that is kind of the thing I don't have in there, and this is just assume, but you want to fill out all the things that you can fill out. If there's a spot in the profile settings, assume that you should have information in that spot. The more that you have, typically the better that's going to be for you. Next, we're going to look at services. So within the Google Business Profile, you can add services or products. But if you're a service-based business, then you're going to do services. This matters. So adding their predefined services, the one that they're suggesting, typically you're going to want to add those. Of course, make sure that you actually offer that service. But if you offer it, go ahead and add it. Then you can add in additional custom services. So if they have predefined services, which I find tend to be pretty specific things, where they might skip over some more general ones. But then you want to add in your custom services as well. Things to be thinking about, but make sure you cover all the things you offer. Use keywords within the service title. Use it naturally. Don't be weird about it, but that's helpful. Add descriptions there. Consider adding this one. I don't know if I would necessarily want to add emojis to it, but something you could consider. This one we're going to talk more about, but match the service names to your website page titles. Exactly. That one that's kind of the coming up section here. But you want to add custom services. That tends to be helpful. Fill out the descriptions, and away you go. Keywords and services. So kind of as you're doing that, having core keywords in the services. By the nature of a service, you probably are going to pretty naturally do that. But you do want to, it's helpful to have keywords in the services. So that is the services. Looking at reviews now. So this one, we talked about reviews up at the top there. Reviews matter. You want good reviews, you want a lot of reviews, and you want recent reviews. The way to do that is to have a system where you are doing what you can do to get new reviews. Oftentimes, it's going to be just making sure that your team is asking for a review. And so if you're out at a job, there should be some version of follow-up. Typically, the more forward you are, the more reviews you're going to get. Not everybody's comfortable with that, but it makes sense. Like if they just did a service and then they're like, hey, thanks so much for working with us, it means a lot. If you could leave us a review, that'd be great. That's going to get a higher response rate than if you send a follow-up email later. But a follow-up email will get a higher response rate than not doing anything. Whatever you do, you want to have something in place where you are, one, asking for reviews, and then two, when a review comes in, go ahead and respond to it. That's very helpful. A lot of it is more of a systems thing. Train your team, train your staff to go and do it. You can set goals. You're not supposed to incentivize people for giving reviews. So this happens. Google doesn't like it, so I'm not going to recommend it. But you can be like, hey, if you leave us a review, we'll give you a discount off your next whatever. To get around that, you could incentivize your staff to get reviews. So if every review that a staff member gets, they get a gift card or a bonus or whatever, you're going to incentivize them to try a little bit harder to do that. So things to think about. Responding to reviews, talked about that. Ideally, just set up notifications so when a new review comes in, let's get that out of there. When a new review comes in, you go ahead and respond to it. Review quality. So this one, this would be kind of in the training side of it, but instead of just a 5-star review or just like hitting 5 stars and then going on, like if they leave text, that helps. If they leave longer text, that's even better. If they leave longer text that has core services in it, that's even better. If they leave images or videos, that's even better. So your perfect world would be detailed reviews, a detailed review that includes the service and location that the review is in, and a photo or video. You're not always going to get that, but those are the best type of reviews to be getting. Scrolling down here, so then complete profile optimization. I mentioned this above. I'm not going to go through all of this, but basically go through and fill out everything in your Google Business Profile. You want to do all of that. Photos and videos. Ideally, when you first start, get 10-ish photos up, but then, and the photos could both be of your office, and if you're out on a job, like if you installed a new water heater, like having your tech take a photo of the water heater and then using that to upload, or before and after, stuff like that. Those things are helpful in doing that consistently. So having, a lot of times you'll see a profile that has photos, but they were added 4 years ago. If you could get into the habit of adding a couple new photos a month, that's going to put you ahead of those that are not doing that. Question and answer section, filling that out, adding question, or you can add your own questions and you can answer them. Go ahead and do that. Getting Google posts up there, it's kind of along with the photos, like add posts. If you're already doing social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc., just include that same type of content on the Google Business Profile. And then there are like different appointment booking links, messaging links, social profiles. Some of this just falls under the filling everything out realm. But again, if messaging is an option for you, I would encourage you to enable it. It's going to be better than not, and it's going to give you a leg up over the other businesses that are not doing it. This is going to be the last thing we're touching on here. I know this video is getting a tick long, but aligning your Google Business Profile and your website. So we mentioned this when we were looking at the categories and the services, but the main point here is every service and category in your Google Business Profile should have a corresponding page on your website. So if you are you have your primary category. So if you have personal injury lawyer, you should have a personal injury lawyer page on your website. Then if you had additional categories, say there was car accident attorney or wrongful death attorney. I don't know if those are actual categories there, but if they're not categories, they can for sure be services. Car accidents, wrongful death, slip and fall, all of those, if you have a category, if you have a service, you will want to have a page on your website that aligns with that. So you want to have your personal injury page, you want to have your car accident page, you want to have your wrongful death page, and ideally you are making you're using the same wording in your service or category as the title /H1 of that page. So if the category is car accident lawyer, or if the service is car accident lawyer, you're going to want your page to be something like /services/ car accident lawyer. Or you could have it be that a car accident lawyer Austin or car accident lawyer Atlanta or whatever the city is. But you want those to align. So basically make a little spreadsheet that has all your categories, all your services, and then you should have a page for it. And then you just want to go through and audit that. Okay, do we have a page? If we do, great. And then is it aligned? You're using the same wording on it. If you don't, then you add that to a list of pages to make. So basically get your Google Business Profile data, audit your pages on the website, see where there are gaps, and then optimize those pages or make new pages based on what you need there. That's the gist of that. Naming convention, I mentioned this here, but if you're using, you just want to use the same terminology. And so whatever the Google Business Profile category or services, you want that to be the main H1 or title of the page that you're making. So as an example, if the Google Business Profile service is emergency plumbing, then your H1 is going to be emergency plumbing, say in Austin, and then your URL can be emergency-plumbing Austin, water heater repair in Austin, and so forth. This is, I'm including this for our team. I'm not going to spend time on this in the video, but basically it's just good, best SEO practice. So your URL structure, title tag, H1 tag, and so forth, as you're making those or auditing those service area pages, you want to make sure that they're well optimized there. So that is the gist of all of that. Last thing here, some ongoing maintenance schedule. This is probably a little overly ambitious. Daily tasks, check for new reviews. Ideally, you have notifications set up. Check for Google Business Profile edit suggestions. People can suggest edits to your Google Business Profile. Ideally, there's notifications set up for that. I don't know if I have. I'm trying to think now. Either way, if you can set up notifications, do it. If not, something to check on occasion. You want to reject things that aren't true, obviously. And then you don't need to monitor your Google Business Profile insights daily, but you do want to monitor them, weekly or monthly. Then I would say on the weekly, monthly side of it, check the map pin placement on occasion. Ideally weekly, I would say if you can get a photo plus a Google Business Profile post up, that would be great. Monthly, review your analytics. If you've added new pages to your website or added new services, go back to that alignment there. And that's the gist of that. So all of that to say, things that really matter: primary category, proximity to searcher, keyword in the business name, physical address in the city, business hours, you want to be opened, reviews, and then aligning your Google Business Profile services and categories with what's on your website. So I hope this was helpful. Leave comments, questions. Thanks. Have a great rest of your day.